Michael Shikashio declares himself an expert in behavior and an expert in behavioral euthanasia. But unfortunately, you never hear these people define these actual words. He never actually defines the word behavior. He never actually defines what aggression is, and he never actually defines what reactivity is. There's a reason for this, because they're trying to hide it, and you'll hear Michael dance around the truth here. I'm only interested in a few minutes of this video. You can sit down and watch the whole thing. I'll put the link in the comments. Let's have a listen to what he says.
So in your opinion, can you explain what dog aggression means to you, I suppose, really, and what does it look like on a spectrum from more subtle behaviors or signs to more obvious ones?
Yeah. And when you think about aggression, it really is just behavior. It's
Okay, it really is just behavior. Well, what is a behavior, Michael? Can you define the word? Shall I define it for you? It's your body's reaction to something in the environment. That's all it is. Let's have a
and
little
it falls
further
into
listen.
that spectrum. You might get things very subtle, like a little low-level growl, or just a little curling of the lip, all the way on up to barking, lunging, growling, snapping, and then biting, of course. So there's, when people
And what is all this? The unfortunate reality from Michael Chicago here, he will not tell you that aggression and reactivity are literally fight and flight. It's a natural response to something in the environment that you're not sure of. What causes it? And this is the very problem, because dog trainers don't want to talk about the cause. They want to talk about how to train it, how to fix it. And you cannot fix aggression. Aggression is a symptom, the outcome of a problem. Why? Because it's all causality. It's cause and effect. Something is causing the behavior, and he gets into that. It can be medical. Something is driving the behaviors. Okay? You can't fix the behaviors. The behavior is a result of a cause. Once you fix the cause, guess what? The behavior as a result of that cause ceases to exist. It's going to go extinct on its own. That's what extinction is.
the general public thinks of aggressive dogs. They think of all those behaviors they show. But it is just behavior. We have to remember that, because that behavior.
But again, he still doesn't define the word behavior. Behavior is your body's response to something in the environment. Guess what? As a human being, but we're not allowed, under methodological behaviorism, we're not allowed to compare human behavior with that of the dog. That's the reality. Whereas radical behaviorism under Skinner himself would tell you to replace dog with human or human child. What would you do differently?
Fear is born from some underlying motivation.
Fear is born from some underlying motivation. What is fear and anxiety? They're two emotions, and your emotions are literally your instincts that drive all of your behaviors. If you're scared of spiders, and spiders are a negative reinforcement to you, guess what? As negative reinforcements that shape behaviors to fight and flight. Fight and flight is a natural response. How does it work? What is the cause? When you experience fear or anxiety, your limbic system in your brain controls all of your emotions, and when it detects the emotion of fear or anxiety, your limbic system sends a signal to your adrenal glands to increase cortisol and adrenaline. What is the result of that? Fight or flight. So he talks about aggression due to fear, which is great, which is right. Most trainers say fear aggression. It's actually aggression due to fear. But why is the dog afraid? And what is the behaviors as a result of fear? It's all a cortisol response. You ever have the hair stand in the back of your neck, Michael? That's called your animal hackles. Could you control that? It means danger imminent. Could you control your own hackles? No, neither can the dog. That's the reality.
Like pain or fear or distress. And
yeah, pain and fear and distress. And what does that? Yeah, what does all this stuff do? Pain and fear and distress. What does it do? It increases cortisol and adrenaline in your body, which causes the fight or flight response. Guess what? If that motivator wasn't there, the dog wouldn't be in fight or flight. The dog wouldn't be showing aggression or reactivity. But this is not convenient. But yet you're trying to train it. You want to fix it. Okay? This is why I push CBD. CBD actually has a direct impact on cortisol and adrenaline. That's part of the treatment. And then we're going to get into the rest of the causes.
And that, again, is the most important part. So we first look at the behaviors and say, oh, this dog is barking and lunging at something. Well, why is the dog barking, lunging at something? And
why is because they have a cortisol response. Why doesn't he ever bring this up? Why don't trainers ever talk about the cortisol response? Why don't vets and vet behaviorists ever talk about the cortisol response? But no, they're going to kill dogs. We're killing dogs for a cortisol response. And this guy declares himself an expert in behavior and an expert in behavioral euthanasia. Once you understand a behavior, once you understand what behaviors are, then punishment is off the table, which means dog training shouldn't be exist in the first place, because dog training is all punishment and rewarding the punishment. Okay? That's the problem.
That'll give us the answer. So I'd much prefer to say this dog is fearful and is showing the aggressive behavior because they're scared of that guy walking through the front door.
But again, he never gets into the issue. Why isn't he talking about a cortisol response? Because it's not convenient to the wallet. It's not convenient to the pocketbook. All we ever hear is hire a trainer, hire a behaviorist. Why? Because these arseholes wrote they're lying to you. They're covering up the freaking truth because they want to extort you for money. That's the reality. Okay? You can sit down and listen to the rest of this. I'm done.